Hey everyone, this is Emmanuel from Las Vegas, your emotion code practitioner. I just want to do a really quick video for those husbands out there and for those boyfriends out there. This is for you. It's been on my mind, it's been pressing for a while now. And so, first of all, I just want to give you credit because I'm working with your amazing girlfriends or your amazing wife, and it's just a privilege to be able to work with them, and some of them are just literally working all around the clock, helping out kids, or they're very successful as, in business and things like that. So it's just really great that I get to work with really amazing people that are adding value. So I want to say that, number one. But today I want to talk about something really, really serious. So I'm going to try to keep my composure here, but it's just really, really an interesting thing. So someone recently told me and said to me, hey, listen, Emmanuel, I really appreciate your emotion code practice, but you need to fix my, what do you think he said? My wife. You need to fix my wife. Now, I try to keep my cool. I kept my my posture, and I said, okay, like Hakuna Matata. I was trying to keep it cool, and then I asked him. I said, hey, listen, man, are you sure you're married? Because kind of fooled me. I mean, I don't know if a husband would really ever say that. And the reality is that if you don't fix someone, you don't fix your wife. Okay, it doesn't work like that. What it is that we are trying to provide the highest value coding alternative, and I'll explain to you what I do. We're trying to provide a way for people to have peace with their past and to remove emotional trauma from their life energetically, so not just like mentally. So that's what I do, is I basically use muscle testing or applied kinesiology, however you want to say it, and I use magnets to remove these energies. And so it's a type of energy healing similar to Reiki and theta healing, but we're very we can go way back to the trimester times. We can go way back to maybe even inherited emotions, and you'll be very surprised that you're only seeing the iceberg of the potential of what your wife can bring, and vice versa. You're only seeing yourself, just a little potential, but you haven't seen like what you could really be if you have these things that are kind of holding you back. So but yeah, that person really bothered me. He said that. And I said, the second thing that I want to tell the guys, I said, hey, look, you know that you have similar frequencies as your wife. Like, you have similar energy. So if she's got skeletons in her closet, guess what you do? You also have skeletons in your closet too. So be slow to speak when it comes to that area, especially about your wife. But I want to talk about 4 more things. So kind of, 4 things to think about, men, husbands, boyfriends, is that, and this has to come to pass, me talking about this, because a lot of women are open to my type of healing, energy healing, and I do it online, but they're always wondering, like, I don't know if, my husband would think you're crazy, or my husband would think this, my husband would think of this. All I hear is blah, 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 ego, blah, 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 ego. That's all I hear. It's just ego. It's just, not willing to open up your mind about energy healing, and that's why I like to offer a free session for people, is because I want you to experience what is the emotion code, like how it could help you out with chronic pain or emotional baggage. Let the tongue in my mouth match the one in my shoes, so I can show you exactly what I do, right? And so the number one is, the first thing I want to talk to you about is a house divided in itself cannot stand, right? Abraham Lincoln said that. And it's interesting that when you start in a relationship, it reminds me of this. Like, you go into this house and you're like, hey, honey, let's start anew. Let's put our past behind us. Let's start a new beautiful mansion house, beautiful, it's white, and like, let's leave our past behind us. But here's the funny thing, is that when you're walking into this door of this mansion, all of a sudden on the corner of your eye you see your wife, and guess what she has? She has this backpack, right? And you're like, I thought we said that you're going to leave that outside. And then you go inside the house and you start noticing that in the mirror you actually see some sort of strap on your shoulder, and you're like, wait a minute, I have a backpack of my own. What happens is, over time you start figuring out what kind of tips you with that backpack. Like, backpack is pretty heavy, so if you push somebody enough with a heavy backpack, they'll kind of teeter off. So that's what happens, is little by little you start noticing that if you push them in a certain way with this heavy backpack, it automatically makes them feel unstable and they get upset. they easily and readily take their arm and grab this bomb and just throw it at you, right? And just basically ignite that bomb and throw it at you, and then boom, it explodes, and then you fly back to the wall, and then there's blood on the wall now, and then you keep coming back like, oh, well, tomorrow will be a better day. But then what happens is that beautiful white home becomes a bloody mess. It becomes a red house, not a white house anymore. And what happens is people split up, because here's the problem, is that you guys both are sleeping with your past. As long as you're not complete peace with your past, you will continue to sleep with someone else, and it will ruin the relationship. And what I mean by someone else, it means you're sleeping with your past, your trapped emotions. There's something you're bringing in between you and your wife, and you're also bringing something in between yourself and your full potential. So what I do as an emotional code practitioner is I take that backpack and I basically put it outside. And I take your wife's backpack and I take it outside. So what do you have left? There's nothing to reach for. So you guys can see everything that's positive about you guys is accentuated, and that's negative gets deflected or gets brought down. You see, so that's that's an example I want to give you guys. Is a house divided against itself cannot stand, and if you guys bring in two backpacks, that house will divide. Okay, so that's point number one. Let's not have a house divided. Okay, number two, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not someone who's going to kind of walk you through better filters for your life. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to basically use muscle testing and go through your timeline and find out exactly what emotional trauma you have. Now, if you're an awake person, if you read a lot of self-development, you understand there's your subconscious brain. There's things that are remembered perfectly, like a 1080p camera through your subconscious brain. And that's what's happening, is there's a lot of subconscious things that are holding you back, and I'm able to find them and release them. So the great thing about that is that you don't need a psychologist. You don't need a therapist. You need something that will energetically be removed from you, so that way you're not reactive to a certain emotion. So for example, if you felt anger when you were 6 or you're angry when you were 8, you'll keep feeling anger over and over again if you have what they call a trapped emotion within the emotion code. So that's number two, is just, I'm not a psychologist, and a psychologist can't go up to you and say, hey, in your second trimester, your mother projected this emotion, and that's why it's easy for you to feel disappointment and depression. They can't do that, but I can. So I'm not there to advise you. I'm just there to remove things from you. So I get straight to the point, and I go there. So that's number two, is that it's a different type of healing. It's not just mental. It's like emotional, spiritual, energetic type of healing. The next thing, the third thing is Genesis. There's a really great scripture that says, for this reason, a man shall leave his mother, right, and be joined to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So you have to be very careful that your wife or your girlfriend heard about the emotion code, and somehow it arrived to her. There's only 3,000 practitioners that are out there in the world. Somehow, probably from divine coincidence, it came to her to help her out to progress further. Now here's the thing. Is there such thing as a woman outgrowing a man? The answer is yes. If a woman who reads self-development and goes to improvement classes and basically finds and increases in their spirituality and things like that, could that person, and somebody who doesn't, is their partner, 5 years, they could actually be in very, very different places where the attraction is actually lost. So this woman or girlfriend or wife is taking a quantum shift and basically doing this thing called clearing her heart wall and removing emotional baggage from her past. Now, if she does that, she could leave you behind. I'm telling you this, that as she invests in herself, she's actually investing in your relationship. So there's no such thing when you're married or you're in a boyfriend-girlfriend that you're investing in yourself anymore, because your concentric influence is your partner. So you're actually working on yourself for the group, for the family, for the husband, or so it's this area of influence that they're going to always be around. So just letting you know that she's not doing it only for herself, but for you as well. And when you're working on yourself, it's not just for yourself, it's for her as well. I want to make that very, very clear, because there's no way she could work on herself and not influence society. There's just no way. So that's number three. And the last thing is this, it's all about sharpening your axe. I don't know if you've ever heard the Abraham Lincoln quote where he says, You know, if I had 9 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. I would spend 3 hours actually cutting down the tree, right? Now the problem is that what if the wife has a very powerful axe and she can basically move and that axe and just rock that tree, and that tree goes down. And the tree going down is like a successful project or a successful relationship with the kids and a successful, just anything that she's working on, a lot more success. But then in your case, you have a very blunt or kind of dull axe, and it's not really working for you. Then you have to be careful, because you guys will be moving in different levels, and you guys want to move in a very congruent, energetic level. And so that way you guys are complementing each other like a helpmeet. So those are the 4 reasons. So number 1, house divided. Let's not allow that, right? Men, we need to step up. Number 2 is, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm actually someone who digs deeper and takes out the root problem of why you're reactive in certain areas of your life. There's a big, big difference. Then number 3 is also, when a woman is working on herself, she's actually helping out the relationship. She's helping out the family. She's thinking more long term. Like, that's an attractive thing. Think about it, guys. She's going out of her way to make herself better for not only herself, but for you. Like, I deserve a high 5, middle 5, low 5 from the men, for what I'm doing, because I'm actually bringing more peace into the relationship. But if she comes in and she's bringing peace to the home and you're still in war clothes, we got a problem, So anyway, I just wanted to be very blunt, very transparent with the men, because like I said, the one thing that holds men back the most is just like, I don't need that, or ego, or, and it's just time to just realize, look, we all have baggage. We're all going to have some type of chronic pain or some type of pain in our body, or we might have some type of emotional baggage, just because life, wear and tear. But the reality is why not bring the best to your relationship? If she's going to do that, why not you? So hopefully this video helps you out. This video is specifically for boyfriends or for husbands. Hopefully you don't feel like my words are harsh. I'm just trying to tell you the truth that it's a beautiful thing that your girlfriend or your wife had take time out of their day, busy day, to invest in themselves, to invest in your relationship. And isn't it time that we step up and say, you know what? I appreciate you doing that. I want to bring peace to this house too. I want to bring more control over my emotions too. I want to do that because it's a good investment in my life to be able to bring value to my loved one. So with that, this is Emmanuel from Las Vegas. Hopefully you appreciated this message, and you can subscribe below. And we're going to be doing 5 videos a week in regards to energy healing. And my thing today was, will the real men step up? Will the real men of society step up? That's the message for today. And I know whoever's listening to this, if you're a real male, you'll say, you know what, honey, I really appreciate that you're working on yourself for us. And I think it's time that I looked into it too. And if you need more information, fantastic. If you need a free complimentary session, fantastic. But don't just wash it over like she needs to work on herself and I don't. I never want to meet that person again who says that you need to fix my wife. That's not going to happen. We're gonna have some problems in Chinatown if I meet that guy again. No, just joking. But no, just something to think about, guys. Hopefully this resonated with you. And if you're someone who's working on yourself right now and you're a female, pass this to your husband, pass this to your boyfriend. Let them see this message, and they're going to need more information. They're going to need to see more things about the emotion code. But this is a good start. It's all about philosophy first, and then we can take action. So with that, hopefully everyone has a great day. Hopefully you appreciate the message. Take care. Bye-bye.